All right, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at a DIY Amazon vent cap replacement. Well, this I believe is original to the trailer, but I hope you stick around because we're going to take this guy off and replace it with this little vent cap here that I got on Amazon. It looks very similar. The plastic's probably not as good. It's, to be completely transparent, from somewhere in the Far East in a communist country. So I'm just gonna, you guys probably can't see this. This is why my pocket knives are never sharp and not in good shape, if you can see. That one still got residue from whatever project I did last. We'll just cut this and see kind of what we're working with. Oh, that's like a plumber's putty around the edge there. Not throw that on the ground. But there appears to be these little bolts. This is coming up really easily. Any Boy Scouts out there, don't cut toward yourself, cut away. But everybody else, do whatever feels right. So I'm gonna hopefully not cut into the fiberglass here. And let me try to scrape a little bit of goop off this. It appears like there's a mechanical attachment on this, which involves a little self-threading screw. Hopefully it's not a pop rivet like Casita is wont to do. I'm kind of chipping this away a little bit. Let that guy spin. All right, that looks like about a 6mm, or I don't know, a very small standard, likely. Bolt. I'm going to turn you guys off for a second and we will get some better tools. But anyway, getting back to it, we're putting this guy right here. And hopefully she'll be bright and shiny new. As you can see, one of our upcoming projects will be the gel coat, which is hidden under this layer of grime. Hopefully that protected the paint a little bit. We've got a trailer that spent a lot of time in New Mexico. I got a ton of receipts with this trailer dating back to basically when it was new. So it's had 2 or 3 owners. It came up into the Portland metro area about 3 years ago. So it spent its fair share of time out in New Mexico, which I'm guessing out in the sun. But the upside is I have service records for this thing going back 20 years. So that's very nice. Anyway, I'll bring you guys back in a minute when I collect up some more appropriate tools than just my pocket knife, and we try to get some of this stuff broke free. Stand by. All right, I've gotten some more tools. They're not cutting tools per se, so maybe we'll scrape along the top of this and kind of take some of this stuff off, and I'll focus on where the screws are at. Because again, I'm trying not to cut into the fiberglass on this situation. These are 1/4" self-tapping, self-threading screws, which does not inspire me with tons of confidence. But we'll go forth and conquer. Maybe I can scrape enough off there to kind of, you're probably looking at the back of my head. Enjoy the cowlick. But Dana and I have resolved to fix this thing up, and this is just one of those little dirty jobs where if you got 20-year-old stuff, whoa, that came right out. So that's a little easier than I thought. Anyway, I'm going to continue kind of scraping these guys off. I got one right here. I wonder if I can just push this down over and get enough traction to pull this up. And there we go. So this one has holes in it as well, you can see. So hopefully this just screws down with a little bit of RTV and will be, or plumber's putty, which I have both. So we'll see kind of how this works out. But I think you get the idea. This thing's screwed down with these 1/4" legs. So I'm going to go ahead and not waste your time and mine. I'm just going to continue to kind of work on this. So you can see she's loose already. I've got 2 or 3 more screws, so let's not burn up any more valuable recording space. And I will bring you back. We're going to probably do a little bit of, simple green and a magic eraser. I'll just do it in this little spot because I don't want to damage the finish, but I do want to have a clean mating surface for that new guy. So let's see what we come up with. All right, we're back. Let's throw this over here somewheres. Get the tools out of the way. Do kind of a little final cleaning here. Well, holes don't match up exactly. I'm hoping we can get a little twisty on here. But what I'm doing is I have my plumber's putty right here. And I've chipped away at what became rock hard on top of it to reveal the magic that is plumber's putty. So it is called plumber's putty, fixture setting compound. So what we're going to do, it's like working with modeling clay or Play-Doh kind of. And we're going to make a little bit of a string to kind of go around the perimeter of this guy just by kind of spinning it. Watch me drop it, which is very likely. Any plumbers out there, feel free to comment. I've torn apart other and done projects. Dana and I have had several RVs, and for whatever reason, there appears to have been an era in RV construction that this was kind of acceptable or even an industry standard. I'm trying to avoid the little holes here so that we have a fighting chance of kind of matching them up. And so I've either made this too long or too short because there's no in between in my world. We'll see how this is my concentration face, by the way. We'll just loop that guy because she got a little thin at the end there. And so, come on, stick, doggone it. So, we're just going to slap this on here like so. And I'm going to compress it on there after I get some of my little screws started. So we'll get a thread or two on a couple of these and get her repositioned here for hopefully decades more of service. Uh-oh, I can't see that hole. I should probably buy some new screws too. That one, a little crooked, but hopefully she'll self-center there. Okay, well, we're kind of getting her. Pretty happy with that. Kind of get this one started, just because that's not a stripping out a fiberglass lag screw is going to be pretty simple, I think. And that is not, again, we're getting into this not to have to rebuild the trailer, but simply to kind of put this new little thing on here. And we're just going to tighten these guys up. And that's going to squish our stuff, our plumber's putty in there, and hopefully make a weatherproof seal. All right, and we're back. So she's cleaned up more or less. I put a lot thicker bead on this one. We'll see how this works out. Again, I need to be able to see the screw holes that I'm trying to hit here. But I've got a lot more, there's more of a curvature here that I'm trying to get around. So let's see how this kind of squishes out here a little bit. And I'm going to do basically the same thing in reverse I did on the first one, which was to kind of get one of these guys started. Again, I don't want to seat it in there. I just want to, so I need to be able to see the other screw holes that I'm trying to hit here. So we'll get this guy. Okay, so I've got them all started. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten them. Well, tighten them, the is probably a strong term. These are not going in super tight just because this is lag screws going into fiberglass, so I'm not super excited to make this, you know, again, I'm putting several inch pounds on this, not foot pounds of pressure, because I don't want it to strip out one of these screws. So it's pushing out, you can see some of that, which I am okay with. And last but not least, this little friend here. Gosh, I'm just sweating. It's gone up 10 or 15 degrees since I've been out here. I think we might watch this thing this afternoon too. Well, if you stayed around this long, I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you next week with more marginal content. We'll do another Casita project. I think this afternoon's project's probably going to be scrubbing up this poor trailer. I haven't washed it since we got it, if I'm being honest. But we got the new roof vent thingies on there, and so I would say this is a win. And so again, tune in next week for more marginal content. We'll see you then. Shoddy halfway job that I did myself versus a shoddy halfway job that I paid somebody to do. It's kind of my thoughts on the matter. Let's pick away at this guy, which you can't see. I've cleverly set up the cameras so that they aren't looking at what I'm doing right now. This is the pro level photography job you get here on the 143 JKRD channel. This week's video is going to be pretty short if this is the biggest hitch. And as long as I park this thing under this barn roof here, you won't ever know if it leaks, and neither will I. All right. Well, hello there. I am capable of cleaning some stuff up.